Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome on behalf of SAP, YASH Technologies, and our valued customer, Oriental Carbon. Uh, the idea was in the next 15 minutes, I will quickly share with you in terms of what we are hearing from the Indian market, customers and prospects like yourself, in terms of the changing needs from an analytics perspective and how SAP has been innovating and is continuing to innovate in this area to ensure that you get the business value and are ahead of the curve. So the first and foremost, when we look at the changing paradigm, is the fact that even Wikipedia, which today is become the de facto encyclopedia for all of us, has clearly accepted that business intelligence, which was considered a set of techniques and tools only to handle data coming from the operational transaction systems, whether they were ERP or a supply chain execution system or a CRM system, so on and so forth, today needs to handle unstructured data to create value and also help give direction to new strategic business opportunities for the organization. Now, that is the external piece. Let's quickly look at the internal aspect of the organization. And going back to the traditional pyramid which we have, the first and the topmost is the executive management, which is where again we are seeing a shift. And this is an ask coming from organization like yours. Instead of just wanting KPI-based dashboards, organizations are saying today our senior management is wanting to drill down into details rather than picking up the phone. So let me try and illustrate this with an example. The financial controller or the CFO of the organization certainly finds the day sales outstanding being in the yellow zone. It's a KPI which usually every finance department monitors very closely with a hawk eye. Today, instead of picking up the phone to find out why it has happened, is it because of a specific dealer? Is it because of a specific product or a specific order? Or is it actually a data entry issue where we gave higher credit terms than our standard, but not adequately captured in our transaction system? Today, the business users are wanting to get into details. And when I say details, it is not at summary, it could even be at transaction level. The mid-management, which earlier only trusted and was using Excel for all their analysis purposes, today is wanting to do ad hoc analysis of multiple data sources, which means we are not only looking at data coming in from our transaction systems internally, but we are also looking at Excel sheets. We are looking at third-party competitive analysis reports, which could have come from analysts, or it could be data which has been got from the market through a survey, so on and so forth. Now, these are the people also who want to share these insights. Last but not the least, the bottom of the pyramid. And this is where, again, we are seeing a paradigm shift, which means that the need for reporting, which earlier was ignored or was considered insignificant, is becoming of paramount importance. In fact, just yesterday, at a customer place, the CIO of the organization said, my challenge is very simple. He says the shift supervisor used to get a report on what was produced, what was WIP, and how many rejects in his particular shift by the time he used to come for the shift the next day, which meant we had a 24-hour time window. Today, the ask is, can I get it by the time I change from my overalls to my home clothes? Which means we are looking for time shrinking from 24 hours to 5 minutes. The second aspect is the way these users want to consume it. It needs to be easy, flexible, it needs to be highly visual, and most importantly, it needs to be simple to use. However, if we look at the mid-tier, which is what we call the analysts or the operational or the mid-level management, they want it to be very powerful, flexible, because at times they will get into areas, I don't know what I'm looking for. I believe something is wrong, or I'm trying to find a needle in a haystack. And these are things we've been hearing so many times from organizations. And the third dimension is the change in terms of the mobile device, which could be either a tablet 1, on Android from 4.2 to 5.0.2, and this needs to be managed. From the IT perspective, what we have traditionally looked at is having a transaction systems, extracting that data, putting it somewhere, depending on the size and the number of data sources, different terms like data warehouse, data mart, so on and so forth have come, and we put reporting and analytical tools on top of it, which means we've looked at it from a vertical silo perspective. Today, the ask is coming, how do I look at unstructured data? Now, this unstructured data could be internal, coming in from a machine data, or it could be external. And that is why organizations today are actually looking at it from a horizontal perspective. It is not that I'm saying to do everything in one go, but from an architecture perspective, you need to take into account. We've seen enough instances, otherwise what happens is the amount of data replication and duplication which happens, that for a terabyte of data at the transaction level, you end up at anywhere between 3 terabytes to 8 terabytes at your reporting or analytical layer, if done on independent silos. And let me try and explain this with a quick example. I get a customer complaint. I want to track not only which shift was it produced, who were the vendors who supplied the raw materials, who were the people. Now all this data comes from our transaction systems, but we also want to then understand, is there an interplay of the process parameters on our machines which is actually leading to a defect, and is this the foretrend or an early warning signal for us to have similar complaints from multiple set of customers. And that is where doing this in a horizontal way rather than a vertical perspective becomes key. If these are what Indian market and Indian customers like you have been asking, the fundamental question comes, how does SAP handle this? And this is where I believe is the mantra from an SAP perspective. First, we are the only vendor which combines the traditional enterprise business intelligence with Agile Visualization or data discovery with advanced analytics on a single platform. What does this mean for you as an organization? It means I have a single place to manage the entire access privileges, rights, as well as permissions at one place rather than 3 different places, which creates problems. Second, it connects to 300 plus structured and unstructured data sources. I'm not saying you need to have an SAP ERP at the back end. Absolutely not. Let me take an example of a global organization called Olam. Our first interaction with them actually started on analytics. They were not an SAP ERP customer. They deployed the enterprise BI, and today they are a very large analytics customer for us. Second, we can handle the so-called unstructured data sources, including Hadoop, Amazon Hive, so on and so forth, very simply. Mobile is certainly something which is a very key focus from an SAP perspective. Last but not the least, it also enables collaboration seamlessly. Now, what I will try is very quickly try and cover at a very, very high level around each of these areas. When we look at enterprise BI, what does it mean? It means I allow you the capabilities right from dashboards to ad hoc analysis to standard web reports to pixel perfect reports available to you on any device, anytime, any place. Allows you to connect to new emerging technologies like Hadoop. And the most important from a personal perspective is that it is easily available on mobile devices. Let me take a very mundane example, and I still remember this happened some 3 years ago. The plant head, in fact, he was the plant commercial head at a manufacturing organization, and his ask to us was, there at least 3 times a week I get woken up at 3 in the morning. Can you enable my analytics on my mobile so that I don't have to boot my laptop and connect to the network to look what is happening? If it is on my mobile, it will save me time, it will ensure it is real time, and more importantly, it will give me some peace of mind. May seem a very mundane example, but my request to you is, think about this. What does it mean for you within your organization? On the Agile Visualization, which has been in the news over the last few years, first and foremost, we are the only vendor which allows and provides an out-of-the-box integration between the traditional business intelligence and data discovery. And that is what something even the leading analyst, whether it's Forrester or Gartner, has recognized in terms of trusted data discovery. In fact, Gartner uses the phrase called governed data discovery. What does this mean for you again? It means my users are still in a controlled environment. I could allow them to do exploratory or self-service analytics, but I know my data is secure. I know they will not go beyond the boundaries which have been defined at an organization level. And like Enterprise BI, it also has connectivity to big data. So let me take an example and try and explain this entire process the way we look at it. It allows business users to acquire data from a variety of sources themselves. It allows them to combine data sources without scripting. It allows them to clean, do calculations, grouping, filter, write formulas like if then else, allows them to build engaging visualization themselves, and then allow this to be shared via the same BI platform which is there in the enterprise BI intelligence. And the moment it is on the platform, which is the middle piece here, users or decision makers can share it via the web or on the mobile device. From an IT perspective, you are governing the data flow. So it could, let me take and try and illustrate this with an example. A procurement head who has access to all India procurement details find out that there is a delay happening for a shipment of a specific product from Rajasthan to Rajasthan. And he publishes the all India data onto the BI platform and asks the Rajasthan procurement guy to look into it specifically. When the Rajasthan procurement guy logs in, even though the report has entire data, because of you are logging into that BI platform, the user will only see Rajasthan level data and not the entire India data. And that is why we call it trusted or governed data discovery. The third part, which is the advanced analytics, is, and this is where SAP approach is actually very different. What we say, and we have been able to prove it with multiple success stories globally as well as a few in India, is allow the predictive or advanced analytics capabilities like forecasting, optimization, like saying next best offer for my customer, what can I cross-sell or upsell to my existing customers, to the hands of the business users rather than it remaining the purview of a few data scientists within the organization. Allows it to happen in real time in case those specific needs and requirements. And because it is real time, it can allow you to embed predictive analytical capabilities into your business processes. And let's accept a fact, business process is a real-time process. You never have a business process which is batch mode. It's the technology piece at the back end which is batch mode. You can actually do it. And how do we allow you to do it? And we actually have two modes. One is called the automated analytics, where I as a business user just give the data. It actually builds the model, it gives me the entire analysis. It even goes to the extent of telling me, boss, these are certain variables you can exclude. These are certain variables which are correlated to each other, and hence you may want to drop them when you're doing the entire analysis. Just imagine this power shifting from a group of data scientists to the hand of business analysts. Additionally, from an India context, data scientists are in very, very short supply. Hiring them and more importantly, retaining them is a challenge across industry verticals. If I specifically look at industry verticals like manufacturing, the problem is much more acute. However, despite this, we also have the expert analytics mode, which is what I call meant for the data scientists, where we give you the power to build the models on your own. Both of the options are available within the same tool, and you can actually switch between them very, very easily. And in summary, I clearly say analytics is a closed loop cycle. You could start from discover basis which you plan, inform, but you also anticipate. And this is a closed loop cycle which keeps on happening. So it could be I, as a business user, discover that this product is not selling well. Basis which we go ahead and redo our plan and inform to the entire organization that basis the changed market conditions, this is what we are doing. But we also try and anticipate, do we foresee or can we forecast that this product will actually do well 6 months from today, or it is actually something we should not focus on. And that is why we clearly say SAP Analytics is real-time analytics for business, driven by business, governed by IT. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Pratul, for giving a wonderful session on SAP Business Analytics. Today, when we talk about analytics, whether in terms of data, in terms of business analytics, in terms of domain analytics, everything is in and around data. The information we are talking about in day-to-day reporting, whether we log into a Facebook or Twitter, or we are accessing any of the ERP we are using, it is SAP ERP, like Pratul very well mentioned, like it's not that you have to be on SAP ERP, you can be on any other ERP. But in and around, we are moving around data. And the way data is getting doubled in a very, very short span of time. So what do we see here? It is a challenge for us because the data is increasing like anything, or there is an opportunity. If you ask me, there is an opportunity for all of us, all of the customer, to utilize that data and do analysis so they can take their organization, they take their business to a next level in terms of profitability, in terms of reducing different kind of expenses, optimization, preventive maintenance. So data is something which all of us are having, that is available maybe in the form of unstructured format. Many of us are using different systems. Data is sitting into a kind of like hard-code papers are there, some of the information there. So can we use that? Yes, that is what I'm trying to focus on, that yes, we can make use of that. And when we talk about like on business perspective, today at every organization from top to bottom, all of us are having some questions. If I talk from maybe on a senior executive level, I will have to have a clarity on how the operations are going, how the financial things are happening, how the market is behaving. But if I come to a level of analyst, maybe I have to get some information which other people are requesting. I want to have an overview on how the plants are performing, how the different equipments are performing, what kind of stock is that is lying in different warehouses, when the stock has been received, or whether how the distribution, how the market in terms of retail is performing. But today the challenge what we are facing is like everybody is waiting for somebody to provide the information. We are not very well equipped that I can go and I can see, okay, yeah, today this is the stock that is available, or maybe I will be receiving my raw materials and this is where my goods are today, this is where my truck is today. I don't have that visibility today. So most of the time we are going back and forth and asking users to give us that information. And like some of the facts which I wanted to share, like if you see, like most of us are like developing balance sheet, P&L, some cash flows, spend a lot of time on doing that. And all of us agree today, like the kind of market today we are in, if I take an example of maybe in retail industry, like a lot of promotions, a lot of schemes are coming, or maybe into a manufacturing thing where like production and plant maintenance becomes very, very, very important. If we have the information on right time, we can take a lot of decisions which will help in terms of profitability, in terms of like optimization of our resources. So when we talk about SAP Business Intelligence, so like how business intelligence is going to help us, because today we have all the information that is available, because from a customer perspective you can always say like, okay, I have all the data available, I am using my ERP and all the processes have been very well configured, each and every information is available today, and even my systems are also integrating with my ERP system. But the challenges are there with ERP system, that analytics needs are not there, the analytics capabilities are not there. So BI, what it does, it actually churn your data and give you analytics which you can find out in terms of increasing your profitability, maximizing revenue, and that is how it becomes a key driver for your business. So on BI, irrespective of any department, maybe from a sales, from finance, from a HR, or like some of the information may be available in, because today we do a lot of planning and budgeting maybe out of this box also. So we can have all those things integrated and keep a track, okay, how I plan my year, on April, and by the time I'm closing my year, I can see, okay, what are the stages, and I can have a complete trend of that one. So when we talk about use cases perspective, if I have to talk about, like, now if I say like plant optimization, yeah, then I may want to see actually, okay, preventive maintenance. I want to see like all my equipment, whether they are very well occupied. And one of the example which I would like to keep is one of the plant when I went there, like it's basically a chemical company. Now a customer wants to actually have a, like, production is sometimes it is doing beyond much expectation, and sometimes production is like the way we are expecting it to go, but it is slightly less. But the way it is going up, I don't have the reasons why the production is up. It can be maybe because of the temperature, it can be maybe because of various factors. So unless and until all those systems are integrated, I have all the data available, I'll not be able to come out and take their respective measures. Or if I have a visibility, okay, now because of temperature, if the production is less, so during the summer season, now temperature is again going to go up. So these are the measures which I have to take up. So I can do, and I can have that kind of a visibility. So that can be in terms of plant, I can have the visibility in terms of sales, what are the sales guys, how I have been performing in last particular region, which are the most profitable products what I have, how the market has behaved, which color is going to move fast, how the customer behavior analytics I can do that. So a couple of KPIs if I talk about, like these are like some of the KPIs which I wanted to focus on, like because each and all of us today we want to focus on, like when we talk about in terms of supply chain, so we want to do a 100% fulfillment how our customers are going to ask us. Safety is another aspect. I want to talk about inventory. That becomes the most critical part of any organization, because none of us are having a visibility what is the stock that is lying in warehouses, how old that stock it is, from how much time we have spent, what we do is, like, though we have a stock lying in the warehouses today, what we do, we go out and still we procure new goods, or some of the stock becomes scrap. So end of the day, if we are able to reduce our inventory, that itself will increase our top line in terms of earning before tax and deduction, cash flows. So it's like the overall visibility, a KPI driven. And when I say a KPI driven, it is because BI, there was a myth like it is only there for a senior management. But if you see today, each and every employee in the organization from top to bottom, everybody needs some kind of other analytics, some kind of other reporting needs, some kind of other analysis they need. So BI, it's not only for senior management where we talk about only dashboard, but we have like a different kind of set of reporting where people will be able to do their own analysis. There was a time when analytics was like, okay, if I'll go for a BI solution, maybe I'll have it because I'm very much happy with the way my business is running. But today, if I talk about it, is a necessity, because the kind of competition today is, we want to be in the market in terms ahead of our competition. We should know how our competitors are behaving, as well as I should know, okay, where are the issues in my organization as well. Because when you go for a BI, you go for analytics, you will come to know these are the process, or one of the control which I would like to talk here is like if I have, from a business perspective, somebody has created a purchasing requisition. Now these are like, in a day maybe we'll be creating 100 purchasing requisitions. Now the moment I am creating a purchase order, now somebody is holding that purchasing requisition with him, or PO is not created, or purchasing order is not been approved. Now this is going to affect. So the average time for a peer to PO approval process in the organization, if it is a week or 10 days or 15 days, then I should actually reduce it. How do I get that visibility? I will be able to get that visibility if I have all that analysis in front of me. So that's how analytics is becoming necessary. Then another thing, like if I look back 2 years, 3 years back, most of the like CIOs and IT head, they used to drive BI and any of the SAP perspective or ERP perspective. But today, most of the requests and customers where we are interacting, the first level of meeting actually happens with CFO perspective or a business perspective. Because every business, from finance, from procurement, from supply chain, they want to have analytics, they want to have visibility into their operations. And IT comes into the second phase. So that is how analytics have been become very important in the industry. And Pratul has already mentioned, like we use multiple sources, multiple departments are there where data is residing. There is no limitation. We can actually get all the data and integrate that and generate a different analytics on top of that. The way data is increasing and self-service has become a very critical need. I just wanted to highlight one example on Lumira. Like, for example, today we have, okay, in my organization, these are some of the areas where we are working, but I also want to keep track, like whether I am performing as per my competition or no. Today, if there is a tool SAP Lumira where I can load the data from a competitor's data, I can take the data from my system and I can create my own analytics and see how I am performing in the market, where I am in terms of my competition. And mobile is like because SAP is moving and the technology is moving towards UI5, HTML5. So any analytics if I do today, it will be available on my mobile devices irrespective of that platform. I wanted to spend time on the architecture, like whether it is a ERP. We mentioned like any of the ERP system. It can be any data warehouse. It can be a Hadoop. It can be a Teradata, SAP HANA, or unstructured data. Like because a lot of customers today are actually focusing on unstructured data. On Facebook, what users are going to post, like for example, on Samsung, so any product that has been launched, if you give any comment on public place in Facebook and Twitter, that data gets transferred to Samsung, and they create sentiment analytics. They want to understand how people are actually liking their product, or if any kind of promotional schemes are there, people are actually seeing how market is behaving. So that's how unstructured data has become very important. So BI as a platform, it helps getting data from any of the system here. And then we have Agile Visualization, SAP Lumira, different dashboard, different applications. And like I have mentioned, any of the platform, like whether it is Apple, Android, BlackBerry, Windows, we can do that. I can have my analytics wherever I am. If many of the users, they are very comfortable and they still want to have the analytics in MS Office. So you have that functionality where you can have your analytics in the platform or in the tool where you are comfortable to see that. And so when we talk about BI, it's like basically on a self-service perspective, I can create my own analytics. I don't have to go back to IT team and request some information. I want to see what is the balance sheet as of today, what are the expenses, what is the position of sales, what is the inventory. I can do that wherever I am. On analytics solution, Pratul has already covered this slide. On Agile Visualization, if I talk about Lumira, like where I will be able to acquire the data on my own, whether the data is available in any of the system, it is SAP ERP, any other ERP, Excel. I can acquire the data, I can do my own visualization, I can clean the data, and I'll be able to develop my own dashboards. Now, if I talk about on a business objects explorer perspective, now like all of us have heard about Google, and we use on a day-to-day basis because this is something, a kind of a search engine where I go, I give some kind of a keyword, and it throws me out of with so many links. Now, Explorer works in similar way in SAP Analytics. It is connected to your data, the KPIs you want to search. It will give you a dashboard. Algorithms have been written in the backend, and system will give you, okay, what kind of tool, what kind of KPIs it has to select, what kind of visualization it has to give. And predictive analytics, you want to talk about like what will be the business during like next 6 months, how it is going to be for my my business, what kind of products I should introduce, what kind of schemes I should introduce, or how I should plan my different orders, how I should plan. So I can do all those things within predictive analytics as well. If we talk about Design Studio, tool for designing dashboard, KPI for senior management, and all those dashboards can be deployed on any of the devices. On a ad hoc reporting perspective, today one of the key challenges what we face is in reporting. If I have to using any ERP, I'll go to IT team, somebody will create a report. Or if I'm going for any of the BI solution also, I will be depending on IT to create a report or get it done from vendor. But in SAP, in Web Intelligence solution, you have all the functions available with you and with the name itself, you can always say like ad hoc, that anybody without any IT training or any technical knowledge will be able to create their own report, whether you want to talk about on a profitability, you want to talk about, okay, what are my top 5 material, what are different products, how different region is performing, I want to have last 5 years trend, I can actually do that. And pixel based reporting on a maybe financial, I want to create different smart forms and balance sheet, schedule 6, I can do it through crystal reports. So I just incorporated, I just wanted to showcase like one of the dashboard. Basically, like I was mentioning, in a tool perspective, you want to have on your mobile, you want to have on basically on Microsoft Office or Word or maybe Internet Explorer, how you are comfortable to see analytics tool wherever you are, you will be able to do that real time. So I have a different KPIs. So it will be a basically KPI driven. I wanted to have like last 12 months quality product group wise or period wise. So I can actually track a complete process here from a different, maybe on a finance perspective, a supply chain perspective. I can do that, or in terms of maybe vendor performance, that whether I am actually, whether the vendors what I have, like whether they are good for me, or I should actually look for changing the vendors, or what are the parameters. So with this, I just wanted to talk about on at YASH. So we help our customers in terms of BI, into getting into HANA migrations, and there are multiple of customers what we have, like different practices on BI, all the tools when we talk about BI, and especially advanced analytics, predictive and Lumira on HANA, BW on HANA. And at YASH, like founded in 1996, 3,500 employees. And like in India, we have like 10 development centers. And most of all the metros except Kolkata, we have all the development solutions, which we are certified, like we are working and we are helping our customers. And many solutions, if you talk about CPG1, Chemical 1, Tech 1, all these solutions are certified on SAP with SAP. And some of the industry which we are focusing, thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. First, I'll take you to my presentation, and first let me go through to our company's profile. And this company is Oriental Carbon and Chemicals Limited. Just a sec. So we are the JP Goenka Group companies, and we are the leader in production of insoluble sulfur. We produce also this sulfuric acid, and with a manufacturing facility at Dharwad, Haryana and Mundra, Gujarat. So we implemented our SAP in the year 2012, and after running this SAP of around 2-3 years, management decided to go for analytical tools. Then we decided to go for this BI implementation. So we took YASH Technology as our partner for implementing this BI. And after implementation, we got some benefits, and I have mentioned some key benefits here. Improve performance related issues of OCL reporting through BI analytics. Like earlier, we were having some reports in different formats. Now we have standardized reports. And management has shift analysis of their sales target. Our sales team are now more focused on their targets, and they can see what sales we have done in the past and how the targets are going to be met in the coming future. And so these are the benefits. And as far as this dashboards are concerned, we have implemented finance, FICO dashboards for that, and production planning dashboard, sales and distribution dashboard. So these are the main dashboards we have implemented in our organization. And post implementation scenario, let me tell you, standardization, as I told you earlier, standardization of business reports. For example, we were getting MIS from different departments in different formats. Like in case of production, we were getting MIS on quality and production parameters through different departments in different formats. Now, after implementation of this BI, we have standard reports coming to our top management, and through those reports, we can analyze the data in much better way. So there is a reduction in user efforts also, and there is improvement in visibility, and focus has now shifted to more on analytics. So thank you very much.